We have Harpie cached here. That is so cool to see. Some interesting ideas on the Galaxy forefront, and, well, super heavy Dragon Link. What in the world is going on here? Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. You know, I always wanted to see the ideas of good old Kash with our Harpie cards. All because of this little card right here. You know, telling your opponent that they cannot has been one of our favorite segments on this channel, where you're able to, you know, resolve a Harpie's Featherstorm and put your opponent into kind of an interestingly bad position. Now, this also comes with the territory of the interruption power of Unicorn and Fenrir. Also, fun fact, Mr. Little Fearsome Fire Blast Dragon here says, hey, if you control level 6 or lower wind monster, you can go ahead and beam this thing on out from your hand. Now, level 6 or lower, okay, so we have Legatus, you have the Harpie stuff here. Unfortunately, our Kashtira monsters have one too many stars. Not really too worried about that here, but kind of keep in mind that for the forefront of this, though, you have a lot of ideas and a lot of like reverse synergy that you can kind of put into this deck and actually have it work out. And I think that's actually really cool to consider out here, you know. You don't really, the Harpie stuff doesn't really see much play. And when somebody does come up with an idea, it might be a little bit far in between, you know, but I think this is awesome. This is the kind of innovation that you want to see. And now that we have Fenrir moving back to multiples, you know, this could actually change this deck and the ideas that are present in this. So that's one big thing I would definitely consider out here is the shiftability and how you want to try to adjust this deck for future interactions as well. So also Miradora. All right, we also have Galaxy Eyes Horus. Now, we just covered a Galaxy Eyes list earlier in the week here, and kind of looking around here, I never really considered playing Imseti and Friends in this deck. Now, one of the cheesier things that you can kind of get in this deck is Mr. Wani Moon here is, you know, the ability to bring itself on out. And you can actually make the Blackwing full armor master against your opponent, which means, my opponent's not going to have the chance to play the game. Interesting. Yes, our favorite towers monsters in the whole wide world out here, giving us chances to kind of make sure that the opponent cannot. Really, outside of that, you do have some cool little numbers last hope interactions in here, and of course your wider range of, you know, spell cards with this. But this deck is very strictly wanting to use this Horus stuff in combination with the big galaxy monsters that you're able to pop out to basically start turboing through the higher end of the Xyz branch down here. I mean, what, setting up a Photon Lord's going to be massively strong. Sargass into, yes, you can actually set up the Regulus here. Yep, Mr. Where's, here's your machine monster. Good old Photon Orbital actually equipped onto your Regulus is not exactly something I thought I would be seeing today, but you know what? Okay, this is cool, man. Like I'm genuinely super happy to see that people are messing around with the cool things that you can do with some of these rank 8 turbo decks, and they're not really bound by the current ideas of the format. Next up here, oh man, so it always comes back to this crazy idea out here that we are gonna see this stupid Horus package continue to see play. Now, Sonny wanted to, I guess, get spicy this week with this deck, and it was like, you know what, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take this super heavy samurai scales and we're gonna see what we can do with this deck. You know, what kind of ideas do you think that you could accomplish with this? Well, Having some universal broken pendulum scales, which is pretty good. Also, you are doing the Rose Dragon with the Basil Rose shoot plays. We already know how stupid that this little line can be. But, for your restrictions, I mean, okay, Gold or King Sarcophagus, get the free discards up and running. I also see our favorite card in the whole wide world is present. Hi, say again, Punisher. How are you? Yeah, this deck should have no right having the chance to make Psychic again Punisher. But you know what? If a game is just going massively terrible for you, just put a huge boss monster on the field and tell your opponent to deal with it. It's going to be the best in scenario that we can really have here. Also, this is actually huge. Gotta love Denko Rekka out here, actually assisting this deck pretty strongly. Outside of that, I mean, you're just going to be using standard Dragon Link plays as the rest of the base for this, while you're trying to get really cute with the Basil Rose shoot stuff. Setting up some pendulum scales for you to kind of allow the barfing onto the field, so you can kind of combo on up. And of course, we're getting a little bit cheesy out here with the Swage de Fleur. We've definitely seen the cool little interactions that this card can bring to the table. So overall, I like this list. This is by far, I think, some of the cooler ideas for the format. And, I forgot this was a metagame contender right now, Exo Sister, so with Tier exiting out of the format here, you're going to kind of have to ask yourself, how much value are we going to be able to get on this Exo Sister stuff? Because at the end of all of this, I think you can still set up some pretty good boards. Also, Magnifica is still an extremely good card for this. But I don't know, man. Like, your end board has always been like Magnifica, and then set up, whatever sublines you need, maybe a lance to kind of protect it. This build is also only playing double evenly. I'm not a huge fan of that at all. You want to make sure that you have cards to go second. And once again, yes, you have the Dark Ruler No Mores in here, which means that you're gonna have to actually use your battle phase, or, make a Zeus, or, go down these lines of play to kind of clean things up yourself. And I'm not like super sold on that, to be honest with you. I feel more so that that's just, I don't know, I feel like I want the third evenly, because we don't even board the third evenly. It's just, okay, we see the Dark Ruler / this. Let's draw a couple hands here. Okay, so we did see a Dark Ruler and a Martha. Alright, never mind, that's just gas. If I could open like that all the time. Pot of Prosperity. If we dig for 6, we get an evenly. Okay, that's not the worst. Double Droll, Double Ash, and Dark Ruler. Okay, well, we're scooping that up with the quickness. We got Ellis and Aratama. Okay, we can get places with that, but we also have double Dark Ruler. Alright, well, I guess the Dark Ruler No More is just going to be the saving grace for this deck, because if I can draw Dark Ruler as much as that hand generator was telling me that I can draw Dark Ruler, okay, I'll just be the best duelist in the world. And last but not least here, we have some Centurion for you. Now, I do kind of beg the question here, is Centurion going to explore 3 Pot of Desires? Like, is this going to be the time where we see desires explode in this deck, or are we just going to see people kind of go, we'll go ahead and take the dial back, kind of sit back, relax, kind of see what's going to go on here. Also, this is still the amazing side deck value. I'm also kind of curious to know if this deck's also going to stick around with the Book of Eclipse, because Book of Eclipse is still a fantastic defensive card, especially the fact you can multi-flip down. It's just you weren't getting the crazy value that you really wanted out of it. Also, this deck is so hand-trapped out of its mind. I'm also surprised that we're not playing the Horus package. To be honest, the Horus package was the thing that kind of felt like it allowed this deck to function and actually kind of do its thing. But overall, we're in an interesting place right now with this. I like what I'm seeing here. I like the ideas that were kind of being brought together with defensive builds. Oh no, you hand-trapped my Primera. Alright, well, I'll hand-trap you to guarantee to get the game back to my turn so we can actually do something. But overall, once again, I like what I'm seeing. The list feels extremely strong. Actually, a lot of this stuff feels extremely strong right now. So, what do you guys think about these decks? If you've got anything that you've done relatively well with for the new meta, please send it on over. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.